I never thought of leaving Zimbabwe, actually. It was not part of the plan to leave Zimbabwe.
Okay.
So I just guess circumstances and situations just pushed me to. Because I remember when I went to SA, I was homeless, actually.
Homeless here in Zimbabwe?
I was homeless in Zimbabwe. You know, if people, they tend to think that if somebody is homeless, but if you don't have a fixed abode, if you don't have a place that you call your own, a place that you call home, you are actually homeless, you know.
Okay.
I was from this house to this house, this house to this house, and I felt like that time I just received a comment from my aunt, and then she said, "Kuti, I need somebody to help me with her daughter." She was now going back to work, so she needed help.
Okay.
I was like, "Oh, okay, somebody, I'm homeless, life is difficult." It was difficult to put food on the table for myself that time.
Okay.
That's how I went to SA.
When was this?
2012, 2018.
Okay.
Mm.
How old were you at that time?
I was I not 20?
But
Yes. 20, yeah, 20, 19, 20.
situations, economic situations, sometimes social problems.
Mm-hmm.
Can you classify your reason of going out of Zimbabwe as an economic situation or just a social problem?
It was more of a social, because like I said, I was homeless. I did not have anywhere to stay.
Oh.
Life was difficult for me.
Can you share what caused you to
What caused me to be homeless was I was staying with my grandmother, man. When I was staying with my grandmother, and then my mother's brother decided to just wake up and chase us out of the house.
Okay.
Yes, that's how I became homeless, actually.
Okay. So you went to South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
In part of your dreams, whom you wanted to be in life, do you ever thought of just maybe going to a country like South Africa?
No, like I said, I remember that time I was going through the process of going to a pastoral school, actually, that time. So for me, when that opportunity came, I was already processed in church, how we do it in our church, actually. So for me, that time I took it as maybe it's God's opportunity for me to go to SA, and then I'll go there and I'll work, and then I'll raise up money to come back and go to school.
So you reached there
safely, no harm. I remember reaching Kempton Park, and then I got my bus in Kempton Park going to Durban. I arrived safely,
so
no harm at all.
And when you started working?
Yes, I started working as a helper. I was helping my aunt with her daughter.
Oh, like a maid?
Yes.
Okay. So how was like a first experience, like changing environment? But then around 2012, that's the time that Zimbabwe was using US dollar. The economy was largely dollarized. The time that people were spending a lot of US dollars, enjoying buying cars. But with that environment, the economy of Zimbabwe, right, at that time, and entering into South Africa, a different environment, how was like the feeling of changing that environment? What else did you saw that different from Zimbabwe to South Africa at that time?
At that time, I will honestly say that for me it was more exciting, because remember, I was coming from where I couldn't even put food on the table for myself, and I'm getting to an environment where food is there, and like life is a little bit manageable that side. So for me, I was excited, you know, and I was here that time. I did not see the use of I did not even have money to spend that time. So I can't say that how was the economy shifting. I was not part of it at all. Okay. I only know about when I reached there, and then I started living life better, you know. Yeah, man.
So you talk about food. That is the first thing that you saw that was exciting.
Yes.
What else? Like danger in South Africa. Well, it's different with Zimbabwe.
The roads, the environment, how they do their things. Even in shopping malls, you're surprised by many things, man, because it's quite different. The way they do things, the way they prioritize their customers is different in Zimbabwe. So yeah, it was like more shock after more shock until I get used to the environment.
Okay, so how long can you say it took you to embrace the South African environment when you started to feel like, yeah, I now understand the things better here?
I've never felt comfortable because you always have to look on your back. But I would say the first year was a little bit better for me because remember I told you that that's when I was staying with my aunt. So I felt safe because I was around family, I was around loved ones. So the first year was not difficult. I did not even think of, oh, what if this happened to me, because I kind of like felt safe. But then from the second year up until the day that I moved back home, I'll tell you that I've been always scared.
But before we go that, you were working at home. What means that you were getting some money at your own disposal, or do some shopping. How was like? Did you got some money that was enough for you to buy some items better from Zimbabwe?
Yeah, I remember in Zimbabwe I was not getting even a cent.
Oh.
I was actually struggling.
Yeah.
So getting it, but that time the money that I was getting, that my aunt was getting, it was enough for me. And I was very much grateful because remember I'm coming from where I am homeless, I don't have anywhere to go. I'm actually surviving from hand to mouth. So getting to an environment where it's a family setup, and after that you eat what you want, you work flexible, you know, because remember this is this person who's treating you also as family, you know. So for me it was very, the first year in South Africa was very easy for me.
It was very easy. Now you moved out. You are now starting to do your own things. What did you start to do after leaving the family?
Oh, okay. What happened when I got there, I was in Durban, and then I moved to Cape Town.
Okay.
I moved to Cape Town because it was due to somebody had told me that, you know what, there are better opportunities in Cape Town, yeah, better jobs, you know, in Cape Town where you can earn more than enough, whatnot. So I put it into consideration. One day I decided to go to Cape Town. Yes. So when I get to Cape Town, actually, I started working as a chef.
Okay.
I was working in the kitchen. That's when I introduced myself into hospitality industry. So I started working as a chef. I think I worked as a chef for a whole year working in the kitchen, and from there that's when I moved. I said I really want more than this, and then I moved to waitering now.
You got the job as a chef. Were there any qualification considerations?
No, actually, because it was who knows who at the company, you know. So there's a lady that I call my sister in Cape Town. She actually know a guy they were opening a restaurant, you know.
Okay.
And then the guy was going to be the head chef because he was the one who was working in the kitchen. So he told me that I will teach you everything, but when they ask you, just say you know everything, you know. That's how I had no qualifications whatsoever.
From a first experience getting job and also working there, how difficult it is to get a job in South Africa?
Back then it was not that difficult.
Yes.
I know it was it wasn't that difficult to get a job back because you can have. I remember there was a time when I had 2 jobs. Yeah, there's some time, you know. I'm working from this restaurant and then I'll maybe night shift I'll go to the other restaurant.
Then you are mentioning about restaurant, and I also had many people saying I work in a restaurant, I work in a restaurant. How is the restaurant businesses in South Africa? It's like anyway there's restaurant. South African eating too much?
No, remember in South Africa there are tourists that visit now and again. A lot of tourists that visit now and again. So hospitality industry, it's more of a thing, man, in SA. Because there are a lot of tourists that come and all that. But as of getting a job in a restaurant, I feel like that's the easiest thing to do, because you can just be interviewed even by the door. Okay, do you know this? Do you know this? Oh yes, okay, this is the job. Yeah, now here's the flow. Go and do it. Go and serve customers.
Okay.
So it was more easy back then, before Corona.
Okay. So let's take a break. We'll come back.
Okay.
We'll go to your next job.
Okay.
Okay. Right, from your first job, what was your second job? And how did you get that job?
My second job was a waiter. I was a waitress.
Okay.
And working at the same company, I just went and approached the front of house manager and I said, I want to be a waitress.
Okay.
And then
the chef will be cooking. And the waiter will be serving.
Yes.
Okay.
So I was working at that same company. There was an opening of they want new waitresses. And then I went and approached the front house manager. I said, I want to be a waitress. That's how I got my second job. And he was like, no, but you are good in the kitchen. And I'm like, I'm more good in front as well, because I now know the menu back and forth. I can even make the food, so I can explain the food better than a waitress.
Okay.
So that's how I got my second job as a waitress, and from there I've been a waitress ever since.
Now you are earning your money while you're not staying with the family. You need to cover all your bills. How was the life? How were you balancing your salary to meet all those expenses?
I think financial management, it all goes with individuality. How do you choose to manage your finances? But what I was getting that time, I could cover everything for myself and have extra.
Maybe if you can convert your earnings in rands to USD, how much were you getting?
As a waitress, when I was a chef, I was getting a fixed salary.
Okay.
Yes, a fixed salary. My salary at that time, that was 2015, 2016, it was 8,500 rands. That is
how much is?
Let's just say closely to more than 400 years.
More than 400 years?
Yes, more than 400 years. I think, yeah, 8,000 is more than 400 years if you convert it, right? Yeah.
Okay.
It's more than 400 years.
Okay.
But then, when I was a waitress now, it was more than that. But it all depends what days. There are busy days in a restaurant, and there are lazy days.
You get paid through commission?
Yes, you get paid through commission, but you'll be earning more than somebody that is, because you get paid through commission and also you rely on tips.
Okay. So how was life then in South Africa when you were living your own life?
Pretty good, yeah. It was fine. It was fine. But I'll always go back to, in the beginning, it was fine. It was manageable.
Then that was 2015. Then after being a waitress, any job that you went after?
Yes, that was after I got back. I gave birth to my child, and then that's when I realized that I cannot go back to the hospitality industry again because of the hours, the working hours, the working conditions. That's when I became a maid.
Okay. How easy it is to get to be a maid in South Africa? A lot of people in Zimbabwe, they said to be made in South Africa. Is it just easy? Just people, you just walk in the location there. You said, I want to be made. I want to be made. Wait, how?
Yeah, some of them they stand by the robots. You know, when the robot is red, they go on to give the pamphlets to the white people in their cars.
Are those people who are seeking jobs?
Yes. So it all goes with your presentation, because I feel like the interview of a maid mostly is how you present yourself. That's the
That's
first.
standing on the robot.
That's the first. I think that's the first. That's the first thing. It all goes back again to how do you want to look for your maid? Because I remember when I got my job, the woman that I was working for, I was standing by the road and I gave her my pamphlet, and then she said, "Get into the car. We are going to the house."
Just like that.
Yes. Let's go. I want you to go and iron for me. Yeah.
Design, print pamphlets, print them.
Or you can just write with your pen and paper.
Okay.
If you choose to be extra, that's you can go to and photocopy them and design them. But mostly people, they just write with a pen on a paper.
So you just go to the town, you see a lot of people on the robots.
You just stand by the robots, and then when the robot is red, the car stops, and then you give the people that you want to give. That's how they.
So you just went there, started waiting.
She said I just need somebody for the day to do the ironing for me. Mostly she said I've got lots of ironing. I want somebody to iron for me. I'm like, okay, cool, let's go. We went, and then I ironed, and then after that, most you want a job, you impress.
Yeah.
Because I remember.
Never told you that it's an intern.
She never told me. She just said I need somebody for the day.
Okay.
To iron for me. So when I finished ironing, I went to the kitchen. I cleaned the kitchen, sparkling clean. And after that, she said, I gave you 3 days. You're not working for me.
How much were you getting there?
I was getting 1,500 a week.
Let's go back to that. Which job was paying more?
Waitering was paying more.
A lot of people I see that.
If I say 1,500 per week, I'll be lying. It's 1,500 in 3 days.
Or in 3 days?
3 days a week, yes.
You work 3 days?
I was working 3 days a week.
And then you go back home?
If I work today, I work and then I go back home.
Okay.
Yes, you just come in, you work, you go back home. I was not staying in. I was staying in my own house.
Sometimes we're with our relatives, maybe our parents, my breadwinner who are in South Africa, but Basarao, they're working as my mates. Sometimes we put a lot of pressure because in South Africa we see the life that is portrayed on social media. People are enjoying. Then, from my experience as a mate, how easy it is to manage your finance, like sending your kids back to school in Zimbabwe, giving your parents some money, and also make sure you put some money that will sustain you there. How easy it is?
What I can tell you that it's not easy. And if you see someone who's in South Africa and taking care of a family that is in Zim, salute that person. Because it's not easy to juggle, especially if you are a maid uri kuchengeta vana vari kumba apa iwe uri kuda kuzvichengeta futi uri kuSouth Africa, because mari yacho haikwani. Haina kana kutombowanda zvekudaro. There are a lot of sacrifices that are being made. That's why uchizona mwachisonoga, they will downgrade themselves apa kunogara kumikuku. They will not even have clothes hembe dzavanotumira kunoku. So it's not that easy. Ukaona munhu ari kutochengeta mhuri yake zvekudaro zvekuti ari kuno kuSouth Africa, ari kuno kuZimbabwe ende mhuri iye ari kuSouth Africa, munhu iyeye kamupei salute nete mubige.
Okay. Then you mentioned the issue, maybe you can highlight a little bit broader. Mukuku chimbori chi isukuno tinezo zvatinofanana nazvo. Pane paipo garage food as makeshift shelter, so garage masquatter. Kana mukusa kafika mukuku chimbori chi.
Mukuku mazana matangwena zvinyeda.
Vanhu vanongovaka vega.
Vanhu vanongovaka zvimatangwena imba yemarata. So basically it's not a fixed structure, it's not a strong structure actually. Zvekutoti kana chisina tovakwa zvakanaka mvura yakanyatsonaya chacho kunotokukurudzwa. Saka kune vanhu vanono, those are cheap places.
So is that just Zimbabwe, they say, no, we want to build our own?
No. So Mikuku, the concept of Mikuku South Africa and the vanoshandisa concept of where there's a land you can build your own home. And it pane land base panofana kukuto kana vachikwanisa pangapa vakwedzimba kana vanhu vasina pekugara. Saka vanhu vaSouth Africans vanozvivakira. But kana achizenga avaka mukuku wake akazodecida kuti inini handichada kugara mumukuku uyu maybe ndada kugara mumba, anogona kuzourendesa kuchi muZimbabwe.
Wemutori mudhuze nemudzimba?
Kunotori nemagetsi kumukuku yacho.
Pamba tinopen space tomboti tine ruvimbo tingati out kuzasi kweruvimbo kwete chisango vanhu unovaka iko.
Togona kutoti kana kuti muberere meshowground umu maita nzvimbo iripo yekuti vanhu vanogona kutovaka mikuku yavo vanotovaka.
Vanotanga kurenda futi munhu.
Vanotanga kutongogara, vanozorentesawo zvavo vanenge vauda kuti vaite mari.
How safe it is kugara mumukuku?
It's not safe at all. It's not a safe structure. I've never stayed in Mukuku zvangu, but it's not a safe structure. Unotsva. Because magetsi eko anenge ari magetsi ekubatanidza vanenge vakaita futi vanenge vakaita zvekujoina magetsi havasi ma-electricians, ma-qualified electricians. Obviously haisi sesa inenge yazogadzira to say. Saka vanhu vanenge vangogadzira ma-electricians edu mari sendainai. Saka anozoremera kuti magetsi aye because kunenge mune vanhu vakawandisa kushandisa magetsi iwayo. Saka kutsva kwezvinhu kunoitika. Kuyeredza kuti kwakanaya chako chaiko, it's not a safe structure to stay in.
Okay. Vanhu vakawanda vanoda kuenda kuSouth Africa. But what they are much afraid of is this issue yesecurity. Vanhu vanotya mareports vanonzwanzi paita nyaya yexenophobia. Besides xenophobia, jasungonzwanzi vanhu vapfurwa, munhu apfurwa munhu azodaiso. Pavakagara kuSouth Africa, makanga muchigarawo sei nyaya idzi dzeku?
So in South Africa zvakasiyana nekuti kuti vanhu vari kumayard vari right, handiti they are more safer kumayard than vanhu vari kugara kana kuti kulocation kana kugadzima kana kuti chii. You are not safe anyway in South Africa because you can be unogona kungotori mumoka and then unogona kutongomapinda matsotsi nepfuti mumwoyo. Wototanga kutonangana kutorobha. You can be in the road and then you can get robbed. You can be anyway, you can be in a restaurant and then so there is no way you can call a safe space in South Africa.
Okay. But chinonyanya kuita kuti vanhu vanyangwe aenda onoti life yangu ipanjodzi, but even if you come back to Zimbabwe, people say go back.
Ndoye Zimbabweans tinoshingirira, maZimbabweans tinoshingirira sitereki zvezvekutodaro zvekuti do you know kuti even working environment yako chacho isiri kukuitira as an individual, but the fact that you know kuti at the end of the day there are bills to be paid, there's a child that needs me to feed, I have to put food on the table. Munhu anongoshingirira zvakadaro. So what is keeping people in South Africa, yet they know that it's not a safe space, kushingirira because vanenge vachiza nhamo yavakasiya kumba.
Now vanhu vari kushanda, vanhu vari kuunza mari. A lot of people say hakuna iriko zvakawanda indakaenda kwakati zvakaizvo, but on your side ndezvipi zvamakabatsirika nazvo zvaunoti izvezvizvi kuenda kuSouth Africa zvakandibatsira?
kuSouth Africa kwakandibatsira kuti ndikure.
Kukura?
Yes, kukura mupfungwa chaimo.
Okay.
Kunyatsokura mupfungwa, like you grow because you are by yourself. You know, as much as we love to be independent, we love our own space as women, but at the same time you grow. You manage yourself, as long as it's 6 o'clock I must be inside the house. So you grow fast, I mean, if you're in SA, because you know what, I have to take care of myself, I have to look out for myself.
Okay. So the achievements ndakumano yangu kataso kuti ndakadzinga kudzokera kumba nototi this one at least was zvakafambira kuno.
That one, to be very honest with you, for me, achievement, I can't point out achievement. Handina achievement and sort of
But unozwanizwa unoita timbwaoka ngauti pakaipa.
Being honest, and achievement in the South Africa, there's no achievement at all.
Ndoko kwatangira content creation.
Yes.
But do you think it was going to be easy for you to be a YouTuber starting in Zimbabwe than in Zimbabwe?
No, in South Africa it's better because data is cheap there.
That's cheap.
Data is cheap and yeah, it's easier in South Africa.
And to be in Zimbabwe.
Yes, because remember, like I told you, YouTube was my saving grace. It was a place where if I feel lonely and if I feel like I need to talk because I don't have anybody to talk to, I'll talk to the camera. So for me, I feel like it was easier for me that given moment because remember, I was going through a lot. I needed people to talk to, but I did not. But I had YouTube.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's come back on the next video. We're going to talk about why did you choose to come back to Zimbabwe. Okay. And I want you to share a lot of things there. A lot of people who are outside there are afraid of coming back. So we need to talk about it.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining us on this video. Please, if you're new to this channel, click subscribe. Don't forget to share, comment,